Hello and welcome back to another episode of Mothership. I am DV, your humble GM and player. We're going to be following the story of Devon, Valentine, and his worthwhile but very quiet companion, Cade Zachary. Last episode, we had infiltrated the Hasmos station and gathered some information about Project Hellmouth and about the cover-up of the destruction of Arya, and Spiff, the radio broadcaster, took that information and it has spread like wildfire throughout the Joy system. And so now the Hasmos Corporation is very quickly and nervously trying to do damage control and reassure investors that they have everything under control. They are increasing their military presence in the Joy system, and they have officially not only sent bounty hunters after Devon and Cade, but now that they have exposed themselves on the Hasmos station, they are posting their pictures everywhere on all networks, stating that there is a reward of 10,000 credits for the return of each of them dead, and 50,000 credits for each of them alive. And so we have to be very careful about what we do in the Joy system till the heat dies down a little bit. While we are on the Siesta 3 station, which is where we're at now, we are going to take a little bit of shore leave. Our money is getting very, very tight. We're down to 11,185 credits, and unfortunately for us, we have yet to get into an agreement with Nicole, the leader of the Siesta 3 station, that we can basically stay here rent-free on the Siesta 3 station. So before we take our shore leave, I believe we are going to go and request a meeting with Nicole for a little bit of negotiation, becoming members of the Siesta 3 group and working for Nicole. She had stated early on that if we worked for her, we could stay here for free and get discounted fuel and discounted goods. And so we definitely need to do that as soon as possible. So let's meet with Nicole. What is Nicole's disposition towards us currently at the moment? I feel like it is likely that she is positive toward us due to our efforts with the Hasmos Corporation. So if I roll greater than a 25, greater than or equal to a 25, then she has a positive disposition towards us following the Hasmos hack. So let's roll and see. A 93, that's fantastic. That means not only does she have a positive outlook towards us, she has a very positive outlook towards us. She is more than willing to share the wealth of the Siesta 3 station with us if we complete a little task for her. Nothing is for free. And so as long as we are doing jobs for her occasionally, we can continue to stay on Siesta 3 for free. We can continue to get discounted fuel and discounted goods. And so what we're going to do is we are going to see what kind of job does she have available for us. But first, we're going to take shore leave once again. So in order to take shore leave, we need to roll a rest save using my worst save, which is body. And we are going to roll this save, and once we take our shore leave, then we will be able to basically start our jobs with her. How much does it cost for shore leave? Shore leave on a C class is 2d10 times 100. Dang, it's expensive. All right, 2d10 times 100, that's 1,100 credits. Dang, 1,100 credits for this shore leave. So now we're down to 10,085 credits. Let's go ahead and roll our save, our rest save, and see if we can get lower than 30. Man, these are bad odds. The odds of getting lower than 30, very low, 30%, basically. All right, so we're going to roll and see if we can get lower than 30 and see if we get to upgrade our skills. And we rolled a 19. We did it. We finally rolled lower than 30 the first time that it has worked for us. Dang, that is great. If you succeed, which we did, reduce your stress by the ones digit rolled. And if you rolled 24 under your worst save of 30, reduce your stress by 4, for example. All right, so we reduced our stress by 9. So that is fantastic. Okay, that's great. So we reduced our stress. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong thing. That's relieving stress. I'm going to keep that roll, though, because that's a great roll. What is actually what I'm supposed to roll? Sanity save. Okay. Okay. Well, I got a little excited there, but that's okay. We still succeeded, a 19 under a 35. So under a success, we convert some of the stress into improved saves. Each port converts a different amount of stress as shown on the table. Whatever stress you don't convert is relieved, setting the character back to minimum stress. All right, so first, let's set our stress back to minimum. And we're going to say that Cade also gets to reset his stress back to minimum as well. So we're going to reset his stress back to minimum. I'm not going to pay for his stress because, you know, he's just an extra. He's an extra character. He's not a main character. He's not the protagonist. And we're going to go ahead and heal ourselves back up all the way to 20 for both of us. Okay, now we need to roll 1d5 for a C class. So that's a 1d10, and then we take half of it. So 1d5, we're going to say is a 5. If it was over a 5, then we'd subtract 5 from that. But it is a 5, so we get to get 5 points of stress conversion. So that's great. What do we want to increase? Which save do we want to increase? Let's see. Into improved saves. We can divide them up however we like. It says the save. Does that count my stats as well? Or is it just the 3 saves? I'm not sure. But I think I want to increase body by 3. No, we'll do fear by 3, body by 2. All right, so now our fear is up to 35 and our body is up to 32, which is great. Love to see it. I'm glad to see that we have increased our skills. And let's just say Cade does the same thing. We'll just ride Cade along with us. So Cade also will get to increase some of his skills. He is going to increase his sanity to 35, so that's 1, and then his fear to 35 as well. All right, so Cade and Devon both got to increase their skills a little bit. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, so now that we have done our shore leave, how long did we have to rest for? It is 2d10 days usually, and we will see how long we rested for. 11 days. Okay, so for 11 days we rested, and Devon continues to have nightmares every single night that he's back on TEL-022. He no longer has to make fear saves when he awakens, because that was a temporary thing, but every single night he dreams he's back on TEL-22. And he sees those people with the deformities, and he hears their whispering, and he thinks about the deep, and he sees that other lamplighter in his ragged condition, and it just makes him awaken with sweats. But he no longer has to make fear saves any further. He still is a coward. He still feels doomed. He still only has 1 wound. We need to seek out medical attention for these problems. but we have so much to do. We need to find a way to get help with this decayed AI. And I feel like we need to go to the Hope system to get all of this done, all of this medical stuff done. And that's unfortunately a ways away. That is 2 jumps away. And if we look at the travel costs, we could hitch a ride on a freighter for only 500 credits each. And it would take us 2d10 days to get there, but there's a 25% chance that'd bring us to the wrong destination. And we wouldn't even have a crypto sleep casket to sleep in. And so basically our crypto sleep casket, that's from RimWorld. We wouldn't even have a cryogenic casket, cryogenic pod, I keep saying casket, to sleep in during the transition times. And so, you know, we may even go nuts going through. It's not good to go through hyperspace travel awake. We know that. We could also take a jump liner. It's up to 10 to 50,000 credits to do that. That's very expensive. Very expensive. We might be able to find something a little more cheap, and we might be able to negotiate something with someone if we do them a favor, but we don't know anybody at the moment. Nicole doesn't have any jump liners or freighters or anything like that at her disposal. Well, she does have the Black Rose, but I don't think that she's going to front us that money until we prove ourselves. So maybe if we prove ourselves a little bit, we could hitch a ride on one of their ships to the Hope sector. And that would also allow us, the Hope system, to let the heat die down a little bit in the Joy system, which is a big problem for us right now. In fact, we are going to have to make a few saves here to see during these 11 days if the bounty hunter caught up with us. And so I am going to mark 11 days, and we're going to make 11 saves. Every time we fail a save, we don't gain stress or anything like that, but we are going to see if the bounty hunters get closer to finding us. Because not only are they looking for us, they are looking for us hard. And every time we come back to the station, every time we leave and come back to the station, I think we should make a roll to see if someone on the station has, quote unquote, betrayed us. So I don't think maybe they will while we're here because they don't want to, you know, be that obvious, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But first, let's roll these saves. We're going to roll underneath my intellect with Rimwise. That will be a 51. Anything under a 51, we didn't reveal ourselves at all during our short leave. And it's starting off bad. We've already revealed ourselves. Cade and I are not the great at being secretive. We got big mouths, and so apparently we have started talking to people about our exploits, and word of that is starting to spread a little bit, and the bounty hunters are starting to get that much closer to our location. So 1 out of 10 for the bounty hunter. Darn you. Okay, next. Once again, we have big mouths. We don't know how to keep our mouths shut. And the bounty hunter is getting hotter and harder on our trail. Come on, baby. Dang you. The bounty hunters are closing in on our location. That much closer. As we spend all this time on shore leave, it is just making the threat higher and higher because they are closing in on our location. Holy smokes. They may find us before we are even done with our shore leave. Dang, we have not succeeded a single time yet. And the bounty hunter is just closing in. Finally, a day passes and we succeed. Freaking wow. Okay, and that's a 0-1. We succeed again. Got 3 more to go. Oh, that's doubles. I'm going to count that as a 2 days off. That means we're safe for 2 extra days. One more roll, please. Be a good one. 06. Fantastic. All right, so the bounty hunter made considerable progress. 6 out of 10. just during our shore leave. All right, so Nicole has a job lined up for us. Let's roll and see what kind of job she has. I have this little Mutant Year Zero inspiration table. We're not playing Mutant Year Zero, but we're going to go ahead and roll on this and see what kind of job does Nicole have for us to do for her. So we're going to roll D20 first. That's a 5. Destroy 4 corrupted 3. Device. Destroy a corrupted device. Okay, what does that mean? Well, there is a relay station that Siesta 3 has been using to do their secretive communications, and Hasmos has recently discovered that it was being used for this purpose, and they have put a tracking device on that station relay. It's a very small station, just one level, several rooms though, and so Nicole wants us to go to that station and destroy this listening device that was installed there upon there, and she will pay for our fuel. So since we're doing a job for her, no fuel costs will be deducted from us at this time. Do we need any gear that we could use? We got first aid kits, we got a stim pack, got my trusty trench shovel, got some blue leaf, although I haven't had to use it, got ammo for my revolver, got laser cutter. Anything I want to request? I would like an extra battery for my laser cutter. Will she give me an extra battery? 50-50 chance she'll give it to me for free. That is a negative. She will not give it to me for free. Will she give it to me at a discount? I'm going to say 50-50 chance for that. 50-50, and no, she will not give it to me for a discount, so screw her. I'm not going to buy one. That's $500. I can't really afford it right now, so I got to save my money. So no extra battery for my laser cutter. That means I'll only have 6 shots with that laser cutter. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get into our Merida dropship. I did give it a name. The Merida dropship is called the Mad Refuse, and it's a really crappy little Arcane 1 dropship. Carries 12 plus 2 passengers. The 2 is the crew, 12 are the passengers. Has fuel for 2 months. 17 meters long. Pretty crappy. There's no hull. It doesn't have any hull. No weapons. You know, it's just a dropship. It's not used for. Can't make jumps. Can't make hyperspace jumps or anything like that. So it's really crappy. But that's okay. It's ours, and we are going to fly to this transmission station. And so what is the name of this transmission station? So we rolled a 4. That will be on this table. So we're going to roll a 58, which is Night Out. The Night Out transmission station. All right. And how many, we know it's a 1-deck station. It's a very small station. How many rooms are on this station? Let's say there is 1d6 rooms on this station. It's a small station. So 6 rooms. All right, so it's got 6 rooms. All right. So we are going to fly to this station. Does anything happen on the way? We are doing interplanetary travel. So we're going to roll our d6. We rolled a 5, a landmark. And with the landmark, we roll a 3, an interstellar mega outlet, an isolated station module, flailing umbilicals, no customers. Okay, so along the way, we see an IMM, an interstellar mega ISMM, interstellar mega mart station. So let's just make note of that in case we want to come back and find this place and do some investigations of it. So we've already got a salvage opportunity, and then we also now have this Mega Mart. So we can always come back and investigate this, because we might find some good stuff in there. You never know. You never know. So we are going to continue on our way to the Night Out transmission station. As we come upon the contact with the station, what do we see? All right, so we're gonna consider it a derelict. Okay, what do we see on the condition of this station? What is the condition of this station? 95. Heavily damaged. Oh, heavily damaged. Okay, and let's see what the first look is on the outer first look. We're gonna roll on the 4 table. 85. Signs of a battle. Okay, so it's heavily damaged and there are signs of a battle here. So we fly our dropship around the Night Out transmission station, very cautiously probing it with our sensors. And we see that there were signs of a battle here. There's blaster marks and holes in the station and lots of damage about the different parts of the station, but the radar dish seems to be intact. And it seems to still be broadcasting. It looks like it still has power at this time, the station does. Or, well, let's just roll. I'm going to say it's likely that it has power, otherwise they wouldn't have us coming to see it. So if it is greater than 25, it still has power. Okay, it does still have power. So it is powered, but it is heavily damaged. So we are going to circle around and see, is there a place is there a docking bay that is still operable? We're going to say it's 50-50 chance. Is there a docking bay operable? 47, so greater than or equal to 50 is success. So we're going to say no docking station. Or either there's no docking station or it's damaged beyond repair, or beyond our usage of it. So it looks like we're going to have to use just our jumpsuits, our vac suits, and we're just going to have to jump over with our umbilical connection. All right, so let's go ahead and put on our vac suits. That is going to give me an armor of 3 instead of 1. That's fine. I prefer it, actually. And so we are going to use our umbilical to dock with this station. And did I say how many rooms it has? I think 1d6, 6 rooms. Yes. Okay. So it's got 6 rooms. And the room that we first connect to is like a little, not an airlock. It's just like a connection point where people can go in. Well, it probably is a little airlock that people can use for maintenance and things on the station. And so what does when we get into the airlock, what does it look like? I'm just going to roll all 3. 6 and 68. It's got a reinforced hull inside this airlock. So we go inside the airlock, there's a reinforced hull. Let's roll our d6. Is there a peril or opportunity in here? And the way this is going to work is if it is a 1 or 2, there is nothing, like neither. A 3 or a 4 is a peril, and a 5 and a 6 is an opportunity. All right, so we're going to roll our d6, and then we'll use all of that information for our table lookup. All right, so it is a 3, which means there is a peril here in this airlock. And the peril is a 32. Dreadful scene of death or violence. So when we dock our umbilical into this airlock, we pass through the little place. We have our weapons at the ready because we don't know what we're going to see. And there are dead floating bodies. There's no gravity. dead floating bodies inside of the airlock. 2 or 3 different armed people. Some of them, a couple of them have vac suits on. None of them are alive. They all are dead. The others look like they were killed without vac suits on, and we can't tell. Let's see. Are any of these people wearing Hasmos identification? We're going to say 50-50 chance. 67. Yes. The armed people. Is it the unarmed or is it the armed people? Over 50 is yes. No. The armed people are not Hasmos people. So who attacked this place? Who attacked this place? We don't know. We're going to go ahead and search the bodies and see what we find from these bodies. 11. With an 11, I've got this new oracle here. Search, hungry, hope, radiation, deception. 11 and 17. I didn't notice what it said, so we'll do the 6, which is just a 5. Deception and clarity. Deception, clarity. That's an oxymoron. Deception, clarity. So it looks like, just from what we can tell from doing a brief search on these bodies, that these people that were in vac suits were attacking the station, and those that are not in vac suits are they were defending the station. And so it looks like they had a little shootout here in the airlock, and both sides suffered. Is there anything we can find here that would be useful? We're going to say unlikely. That probably someone has already looked through this. Unlikely. It has to be greater than 75. Oh, we got an 80. Fantastic. So what did we find here? What did we find? I'm going to roll some loot here. What did we find here? 99. Oh, wow. 99. Synthetic hand, detached. It's functional. Occasionally twitches. Interesting. Oh my gosh, I wonder if I can use this to replace Devon's fingers. Oh my lord, that's fantastic. We're going to put that in our pack. All right, man, it's already worth it. Okay. All right, so now we need to roll to find out what is in the next room. So we are going to roll a 1d10 and a 1d6. So we're just going to roll both of these, and we got a 6 and a 2. So a 6 and a 2. This is an engine room. Okay, so there is no engine rooms in a station. So we're going to say, instead of an engine room, we're just going to call it a docking bay. So this is a docking bay that we found, and there is 1d10 fuel in there. And so we'll just call it whatever 10 already rolled, which is a 6. We'll say there's 6 fuel in there. All right. So maybe we might be able to transfer some of that fuel over and sell it and make some extra money here. All right. I'm just going to take note in a notebook instead of writing it on my sheet. That way it'll be a little faster, and then at the end we can tally up what we got here. Okay. So how many... There are 3 possible... Well, there's 6 possible ways, I guess, out of this one room. So they could go up, down, left, right. Okay, so yeah, so 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So it's a cube, right? So we're just going to use this d6 that we've already rolled. There's 2 ways out of here. The one goes into the airlock, and then one goes to the adjacent room. Is there... Oh, we need to roll for danger in this room, besides the fact that it has fuel and stuff in here. We're going to roll our 1d6. Well, we can just use the same roll. Like, we'll just utilize these same rolls so that we can facilitate faster gameplay here. So a 2 is a nothing. All right, so there was nothing in this as far as a peril or opportunity. Okay, so now there's only one way out of this room into the next room. Let's see what this next room is. This next room is a 1 and a 4. So a 1 and a 4, it's a med bay, completely picked over med bay. This is a med bay, completely picked over it. That's fine. But is there a peril here? Yes, there is a peril. It's a 4. Got to roll on the old peril table. And we'll roll 2d10s. 75. Path is trapped. Oh no. Not a trap again. What kind of trap do you say? We'll just use the same roll. 75. Refuse, haunted, danger, precaution, fear. Ooh, it's not good. So as we start looking around in this bed bay, we hear a gentle beeping. And it's coming from there's a cryopod in this med bay. And we hear a beeping in that cryopod. So Devon goes over to investigate this cryopod, and he starts looking at it, and he can tell that it is indeed booby-trapped. There's a bomb attached to this cryopod. Now, if we want to, we can try to deactivate the bomb, or we could just leave it. So, there is a trap here. What good would it do for us to undo this booby trap? I don't know, but I guess I should roll to see if I notice the booby trap. Right? That would be fair. Do I notice this booby trap? So 73. I got a 50% chance. Over a 50 is a yes. So yes, we did notice the booby trap. So okay, good. So I don't have to worry about accidentally triggering this booby trap. Okay, so nothing else of use in this med bay. How many doors to the med bay? There's 2 doors. Okay, so it looks like this is a cylindrical or a column, like a straight column station so far. There's only 2 doors, one that we came in, and then this new door. Let's go ahead and roll again to see what we see. A 4 and a 6. A 4 and a 6. Another engine room. 1d5 squatters in vac suits huddling around the warmth of the engines. Okay, once again, there's no engines in the station, but we can say instead of an engine room, it's like some sort of life support or cargo hold. Really, any other type. We could say it's an operations room. And they're all huddling around perhaps a console, like desperately trying to get things to work, perhaps, like they're all in there. And we're going to say we'll just use this D10 for our roll. It's a 4. That means there's 4 of them, 4 squatters here. Are they a part of the crew, or are they a part of the invaders? They are in vac suits. Probably due to, the damage that has been done to the station. But let's see if we rolled a 6, so that would be an opportunity. So let's have a little talk with them and see what they say. So as we come into the room, they're all huddled around their control panels, and they hear the hiss of the door as we come into the room, and they all turn around and they raise their guns, and let's see what their disposition is towards us. Their disposition is a 55, wanting. All right, so they are wanting. So they need something from us. So they see us come in, and we immediately, raise our weapons up so that we indicate that we're not a threat. We're like, whoa, whoa, Devon's like, whoa, 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 whoa. We don't want any trouble here. We're not here to do any harm. We're here to help. And one of the guys, he's a they're all kind of like older gentlemen. Looks like they've probably been around the block a few times. He has kind of a raspy voice, and it's a little bit distorted in his spacesuit. He's like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And we say, "We're here on behalf of Nicole from the Siesta 3 station. We came here to help restore the station to functionality. Who are you?" And they all kind of look at each other like, "Can we believe this guy?" And they're like, "Well, we're the maintenance crew of this station, and we've been desperately trying to get our broadcast to work, but something's interfering with it, and we need help to get it fixed. We're running out of oxygen, and we're running out of supplies, and we've been desperately trying to get things to work, but we just don't have the stuff that we need, and we can't call for help." And so Devon says, "Okay, well, we'll help you. We'll help you with this. Do you know if there's any other people here in the station?" And like, "Oh, we don't know. We know there was a lot of ruckus. People were shooting, and we've locked the doors, or we thought they were locked, but apparently they weren't locked because you guys came in here. But we haven't seen anybody deeper in the station, and I think they may all be gone because we haven't seen anybody in a while." Okay, well, do you want to help us, or do you want to continue to stay here and monitor the situation? What would you like to do? Do you want to help us? And I'm going to say we'll just give a 50-50 chance. Over 50, they help us. 71. Yeah, we'll do whatever we can to help. Just tell us what you need us to do. Okay, well, why don't you hang tight here? Do you have any weapons? They do have weapons. Do they all have weapons? 50-50 chance? Yes, they all have weapons. We'll say they all have a revolver, similar to what Devon has. Yeah, we have these revolvers. Okay, well, keep a watch on the doors. Cade and I are going to progress further into the station and see if we can get that comm dish working. You guys just sit tight here. Well, do you know how to get to the comm dish? Pops in and he's like, of course, we're the maintenance crew here. We can tell you everything about this station." I was like, oh, okay. So that's good news. What are the other 2 rooms? We heard there were 6 rooms here. What are the other 3 rooms? And so they're going to tell us what the other 3 rooms are. They are 3 and a 2 thrusters. That's not going to work. So we'll say one is a galley. And we can roll to see what weapons are there. Okay. Weapons cache table. Page 13. Alright, let's roll on the weapons cache table. 89. Geometric stack of unknown purpose around an intricately wrought metal stave. 3d10 damage blast or a 1d10 damage strike. What the heck? Geometric stack of unknown purpose. What the heck does that mean? A weird weapons cache? Geometric stack of unknown purpose around an intricately wrought metal stave. Okay, so it's basically a staff of some sort? And it's like an alien artifact? Wow. You'd think they would have mentioned that, or one of them is using it. Maybe they don't. Okay, so, alright. There's a weapons cache here in the galley. And there is a weapon, which is a stave. An alien stave. They're calling it alien. They don't know what it is. And it does 3d10 blast damage. Wow. That's crazy. Or 1d10 strike damage. How often can you blast with it? They don't know anything about it. They've avoided it. They don't know where it came from or why it's there. They think maybe one of the attackers brought it and they were scared to mess with it. So It's still there in the galley. Okay, what else is there in this station? Tell us what else there is. A 53, 5, and a 3. A habitat area, that makes sense. And there will be another weapon supply cache. So there's a habitat area with another weapon. Let's see what this one is. A 23. Hit clean escape pod. An EVA Mark II hand welder, foam gun, emergency beacon, crowbar, infrared goggles, flashlight, and stray bullets. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So there's a hand welder and a foam gun. All right, so we'll take both of those. I mean, well, we might, sell it or whatever. Well, we'll see if they are willing to part with it. We're not actually getting it at this point. They're just telling us what all's in there so that we don't have any surprises. And then the last one is a 7 and a 3. 7, 3 living quarters. Another weapon supply cache. Dang. So a habitat and a living quarters. And weapons cache of 77. Canvas doctor bag. Bioscanner, stim pack ×6. Wow. First aid kit, cybernetic diagnostic scanner, 7 tranquilizer pistol, a nail gun, and a book, Quieting the Screams. Oh, wait a second. Instead of this book, Quieting the Screams, do we find that book that Bookworm was looking for, Origins on Earth? We're going to say it's likely. If I roll greater than a 25. Oh, it is! We found the book. So we get the Origins on Earth book in this living chamber. Okay. So we asked them, is there, can we have this book? And they're like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. And so, and then also, is there any of the rest of this stuff that we can have? Or they're like, oh, well, I mean, it's out. We need this stuff to help restore the station. So, okay, well, that makes sense. We are not going to take their stuff because they're trying to help us. And so they show us that there's no one else in the station at the moment. And so we're free to explore it and check it out. But it looks like they've been here. That we'll say that they know that it's cleared. It wouldn't make sense that they're here and that someone else was still here. And so they show us the access hatch out to the antenna. And so Devon is going to go out he's going to hook up his little tether line. He's going to go out into open space and take a look at this communications dish. And sure enough, there is some damage to the dish, both physical damage and there seems to be some sort of jamming device on there that someone has placed, I guess, in case that they get it fixed, the physical damage. And who knows, whoever did the physical damage might not have been the ones who did the jammer. We don't really know, and neither do the people that are here. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to try to fix this communication dish first, the physical part of it. So we're going to do a mechanical repair of 15 plus our intellect, which is a 56. Let's roll and see what we are able to do. 98. Holy smokes. That's terrible. All right, so that increases my stress. So Devon gets his tools out and he starts working on repairing this communication dish, and he realizes that he just doesn't have the parts to fully repair this communication dish, much to his chagrin. He would love to be able to finally fix it, but unfortunately it is beyond the parts that he has. Of course, the mechanics tried to tell him that, that they didn't have the parts. And so he likewise doesn't have the parts that he needs, even in the dropship. He's going to go ahead and while he's here, he's going to try to remove this jamming device. It is broadcast. The communication satellite is damaged, but it is trying to broadcast still. So he's going to try to make another roll now to remove this jamming device. And he rolled a 70, which is another fail. He is once again, well, he is able to remove the jamming device, but unfortunately it does more damage to the communication dish. So he was able to remove the jammer, but now the dish is even more damaged in the state that it is in. There's no way that he'll be able to get it into fully functioning. And so now we have to figure out a way, in order to finish this quest for Nico, we're going to have to figure out a way to get this working here. And so let's see, can we steal parts from the dropship, as in slightly remove functionality of the dropship in order to make this comm dish work? So we're going to roll a 50-50 chance. Greater than 50 is a yes. Can we steal parts from the dropship to remove functionality from the dropship, but fix the communication dish? Oh, no, we can't. Dang. So there's absolutely nothing we can do inside the dropship to steal parts from it and make the communication dish work. Okay. Well, we are just reaching all kinds of roadblocks. All right. Well, Well, we're going to go back inside this station then, and we're going to talk to these 4 survivors, and we're going to say, do you want to try to stay here and further repair the thing, or you want to go back with us to Siesta 3? What would you like for us to do to help you further? So let's see. Let's just roll on the Oracle and see what they'd like for us to do. So a 6. Dwell. All right. Dwell 73. Gather, dwell. Okay. So they want to stay here and try to get more parts. All right. Can you tell us where we might be able to find more parts? 82 is a yes. That means they could. All right. Where can we go to get more parts? Let's roll a 44. Harness. 56. Focus harness. Harness focus. They know that there is a periodic supply ship that runs from the Green Star logistics stations in this system, not the Siesta 3 because they don't go there anymore, and they are independent of Hasmos, but there is a supply run that is autonomous. It's ran by androids or AI, one of the two. It's not manned by humans. And it just runs back and forth through a jump gate back to the Hope sector, or whatever the other sector is that's attached to Joy. The love system, that's it. So it goes back and forth between the love system and the Joy system, this Green Star ship does. And if we want to try to intercept that, we might be able to retrieve, I'm using air quotes, retrieve some parts from it to help restore the station. Okay, well, let me ask you this then, folks. Is it coming by today? Greater than, I'm going to say it's unlikely. So it's going to be greater than 75. Is it coming by today? Yes, it is. Great. Fantastic. So it's coming by today. We can try to intercept this ship and see if we can harness some parts from it. It is a fully autonomous ship, not manned by humans. It just flies back and forth with parts and supplies from station to station, and then people unload it once it gets there. All right, fantastic. So we are going to go ahead and position ourselves to intercept this ship as it's flying by. So, how big of a ship is it? Let's roll and find out. So, how big of a ship is it? Let's roll a D100. It could be of varying sizes depending on where it's going. Holy smokes. It is a jump liner. That's a big boy. Dang. Okay. Jump liner. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Jump liner has 10 decks. 3d6 each. Holy cow, that's huge. Okay. Fantastic. So 3d6. Let's roll 3d6. That is 16 rooms. All right. So we can't take any of the stuff from the Night Out station, but we can intercept this jump liner. Holy cow. That is fully autonomous. And it may even have passengers on it. Like it may be just transporting passengers as well as these goods from station to station. Oh, wow. Okay. So 3d6, and it is 16 rooms. It can have up to 10 decks. Just for the sake of brevity, we're going to say that this one only has one deck. It's a relatively small jump liner, and because it has 16 rooms. Okay, so we are going to go take a look at this jump liner and see what we can find. So we are going to set an ambush for this jump liner. That is going to be it for this episode. We will continue the exploration and ambush of this logistics ship in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.